2019 family, friends, loved ones, staff, and supporters. We are so happy that you are all able to be here tonight, celebrating the accomplishments of our class. This year has been a year to remember, but I've been struggling with what to say that isn't cliche. So shout out to Troy Bolton from High School Musical for this quote. Camas High is a place where teachers encourage us to break the status quo and find ourselves as we choose. Where a jock can cook up a mean creme brulee and where a brainiac can break it down on the dance floor. It's a place where one person, if it's the right person, changes it all. Camas High is having friends we'll keep for the rest of our lives, and that means we are really all in this together. Looking back on these 4 years at Camas High School, the experiences and challenges that we have encountered have shaped us into who we are today. Everyone always told me not to take high school for granted because it flies by. I never believed them. I never could imagine that 4 years of classes, homework, and stress could pass by so quickly. But look, here we are today. Today, you're receiving a diploma, a piece of paper that ultimately means nothing. You can't buy a Taco Bell with it. We won't do an interview for you. You can hug it, but it won't hug you back. You can't eat it. It's just a piece of paper that gets stuffed in your garage. On its own, a diploma does nothing. But what it does do, however, is serve as a reminder of all the hard work, the stress, the challenges, the memories, the adventures, and everything else of the last 4 years. Freshman year, we were loving it. Finally got to settle the Skyridge and Liberty beef, and all become paper makers. New schedules, new classes that we actually got to choose, and more freedom. Little did we know, we barely had any freedom. Drake's new album had just come out, and Hotline Bling was constantly on repeat. I can literally picture every moment of freshman year because that's the year that Snapchat memories came out. Our minds were blown. Sophomore year, we were not loving it as much. Finally learned that we didn't have any more freedoms than what we had in middle school. Only good thing was, we were not fresh meat anymore. Yes, we were still underclassmen, but not the youngest in the school. This was the year that students started to get their license. Scary, right? I can't calculate the exact numbers of accidents that happened that year, but if you got into one or you got pulled over, please stand up. No, I'm just kidding. Not this is the time for celebration. Junior year, a year full of changes. New admin, new rules, and we are finally the upperclassmen. If there was a disease known as junioritis, I would say a good majority of our class caught it. This year, students suddenly had a fascination with USB drives. We were finally able to go on our phones at lunch after the phone pilot. Protesters showed up on our sidewalk, and we all thought it was due to the Raimi project, but in reality, it was just because they were nut jobs. And a whopping total of 2 almost fights made junior year a wild one to remember. Senior year. By this time, everyone had already seen the end of the road, even the admin with maker time. Though this ceremony signifies the end of our high school years together, this is just the beginning of new adventures. I wanted to personally thank all of you for making high school a time to remember. Moving forward, I wish you all the best of luck, and I can't wait to see where life takes us. To end my speech, I want to quote Mr. Duvall, the principal of Mean Girls. I just wanted to say that you're all winners, and I couldn't be happier that the school year's ending. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Now,
Good evening, parents, family members, esteemed guests, Board of Directors members, President Doug Quinn, Vice President Connie Hennessy, Tracy Malone, Corey McHenry, and Erica Cox. Also with us are Superintendent Dr. Jeff Snell and Assistant Superintendents Lisa Gressiff and Dr. Charlene Williams. On behalf of the Camas High School Administration, Tim Fox, Tom Morris, Rory Oster, Owen Sanford, and Brian Wild, I would like to welcome you this evening to the 2019 Camas High School graduation. In honor of the graduates tonight, we ask that you silence your cell phones and hold all applause until the last graduate's name is read. Graduation is a time of celebration, and we wish to ensure that this dignified ceremony is free of excessive noise, such as noisemakers or horns. We ask that you honor our agreement tonight and honor our graduates by waiting and listening to each graduate's name before we offer applause and congratulations. We thank you in advance for adhering to this request. Papermakers, you've spent the last 13 or more years learning lessons we hope prepare you for adulting. You may have heard, adulting is hard. As you prepare to leave the halls of Camas High School, I want to remind you of some things that you have learned here. First, know that your voice matters. At Camas High School, we are dedicated to ensuring you leave us with a solid academic foundation. Hopefully, you participated in sports, clubs, had a job, and did some fun things. We also imagine you have learned the power of your voice. You know that your voice matters, right? One more time for old time's sake, guys. No more maker time. Thank you. Warms my heart. Just think though, when you speak, people listen. Sometimes it will be your voice alone, standing up for an important cause. And sometimes you will be surrounded by like-minded people who also don't like maker time. They say that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So make sure you surround yourself with people who lift you up in your endeavors and inspire you to be better than you are today. For example, I'm proud to say that Washington State 2018 Teacher of the Year finalist, Mr. Ethan Chesson, has challenged me to up my graduation speech game this evening. Mr. Chesson sent me an email with a link. He said, my cousin is a principal on the East Coast. He sang to his graduates. You should try it. Okay. Before I do though, I want to tell you, the hardest part of growing up is that you'll be faced with doing things that terrify you. Do them anyway. You never know when you're going to run out of time to do all those things you said you would do, like sing to the graduates. So graduates, here it is. Please be gentle. This one's for Leslie. Sometimes in our life, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but things you need to borrow for. No one can fill all of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on your brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on your brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Finally, my last piece of advice tonight, because Tim Fox said I only had 6 minutes and I just sung for 3, is this. Graduates, use your support system. One voice singing sounds okay, we hoped. And many voices together sounded amazing. You have a support system. Use it. There's no need to travel this part of your journey on your own. Call your mom or dad. Call your nana or poppy. Call those family and friends who have supported you for a short time or your entire life. Call on us when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. It will be hard to surpass being a papermaker, class of 2019. Congratulations. May you use your voice for the good and do things that terrify you. Remember, lean on us. Thank you. An honor tonight to introduce the class of 2019 valedictorian and salutatorian, Monica Chang and Abigail Jang.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Chang, and I'm so excited to be your valedictorian this year.
My name is Abigail Jang, and I'm slightly less excited to be your salutatorian this year. Because apparently my name isn't even on the program. Thank you, Mr. Fox. And if you can't tell the difference between the two of us by the end of the speech, don't worry. We've known each other since 4th grade, and for the past 8 years, none of our classmates or teachers could tell the difference either.
We hope everyone is excited to be here, including all of the crying parents, bored siblings, teachers, and staff that have seen this 20 times already. And last but not least, of course, the class of 2019.
Of course, in a classic case of senioritis, Monica and I were scrambling to write this speech during grad practice this morning. We considered filling the speech with all the record-breaking accomplishments of our class. We are surrounded by state champions and national achievers, but our shared experience is so much more than just the successes of a few.
So let's take a trip down memory lane. We all remember freshman year, walking into the prison-like complex we call Camas High School and being intimidated by all of the upperclassmen.
But since freshman year, a lot has changed. Ironically, the one thing that hasn't changed throughout our high school experience is change.
Some change has been good. Later start times, new parking lots, marginally better traffic in the mornings.
And we've also seen some frustrating changes. The vaping epidemic in our bathrooms, maker time, school information being disseminated through Mr. Fox's Twitter account instead of the morning announcements.
Of course, change is always controversial and often difficult to overcome. But we don't just experience change as the class of 2019. We create change.
We're more than just paper makers. We are change makers. We know it's so cheesy, but we truly believe that change makers is the perfect way to describe the class of 2019. As a class, we've impacted our community through positive action.
Our class has done some incredible and powerful things. In response to the Parkland shooting, we organized a national school walkout to stand in solidarity with the Parkland community. The Decker Girls Represent campaign created a movement of female empowerment and representation.
Unity Week brought us together to celebrate diversity in our student body. And the Lunch Buddies program brings so much joy to special ed students and touches all of our lives. Even abolishing maker time and bringing back conference period counts among one of our many achievements.
And of course, we've changed as people as well. We've grown up and grown up.
So sorry, Dignan and all the other English teachers, for our poor use of grammar.
Every single one of us is different from the person we were 4 years ago. Maybe we changed friend groups, hairstyles, career interests, passions, or even our most firmly held beliefs.
We found the courage to speak up in class, even if we're shy. We push ourselves to join that club, or try out for that sports team, or audition for one of Mr. Kelly's legendary theater productions.
We found compassion to help each other through times of frustration, grief, and loss. We've changed our community through service by raising funds for disaster relief after Eagle Creek fire, or hosting charity concerts to raise money for clean water projects.
And through some miracle, we found the willpower to stay in school for the last 4 years. Of course, we couldn't have done it without our incredibly dedicated teachers.
Whether it's Mr. Farland dressing up as Edgar Allan Poe to really get into character during English class, or Mr. Johnson charging his students a quarter for every swear word, whether it's Ms. Bridges giving her students voter registration forms on their birthdays, or Mrs. Downs being the decamom for all her students.
And whether it's Mr. Plitt's iconic Donut Fridays making everyone else jealous, or Mr. Wells telling all the physics students to get them all right on every single test. Whether it's Ms. Widup and Mr. Snyder making fun of us for staying in the Learning Center past the end of the school day, or Mrs. Edwards hosting incredibly extravagant quesadilla potlucks.
These are just a few of the moments and the memories we have from our teachers. All of us today have teachers, advisors, counselors, and coaches that have meant the world to us, guiding us in our passions, making us laugh, and the best ones inspire us to become better people.
We may never need to find the speed of a projectile at the top of its path, take the derivative, or memorize the part of the Gettysburg Address again, but our education has taught us far more than facts and figures. We've learned how to think critically, to work hard, and to act as educated citizens of our world. Each of our teachers are change makers in their own right, as they've undeniably impacted our lives.
And we hope that the class of 2019's initiative to effect positive change will leave Camas High School, which is already amazing, just a little better than we found it. Of course, there are things about Camas High School that may never change.
Will there ever be a day where we walk into Mr. Chase's classroom and he's not playing a computer game?
Will there ever be a day where Tomasetti wears something other than a polo, jeans, and Adidas shoes? We may never know.
Will there ever be a day when we have 1 centimeter of snow and the entire town doesn't shut down at the slightest possibility of freezing weather?
Will there ever be a day where Cooper isn't the most adorable dog in the entire school?
Will there ever be a day where the fire alarm doesn't go off at the worst possible moment?
Will there ever be a day where Camas High School football will completely dominate every game?
And will there ever be a day where the stall locks work in the girls' bathrooms? Or is that just not in the budget? We challenge you, class of 2020, to be the change makers on that issue.
So far today, we've just been talking about change at Camas High School. But we are living in a time of incredible social, political, and economic change as well. With a stagnant government, a dying planet, and a polarized society, things can feel hopeless. It's easier to be cynical, to accept that change is impossible, and to believe that our voices and actions don't matter. And day to day, it can feel like we're going backwards. But when we look at America through the decades, we have made tremendous progress. Less than 4 years ago, marriage equality didn't exist. Only 2 generations ago, African Americans didn't even have the equal opportunity to vote. But just because change seems inevitable, that doesn't mean it'll happen on its own. It requires the individual actions of many to create powerful change, and we can each be a part of that, in our own small ways.
The two of us are up here today for a relatively arbitrary reason. We took the most AP classes, but we don't believe that's what deserves recognition. In fact, we must acknowledge and recognize that whatever success we've been fortunate enough to experience, it is truly thanks to the efforts of our parents, teachers, schools, and friends, and everyone else surrounding us. We're incredibly lucky to grow up in Camas, where we have the resources to start change, and a receptive community there to embrace it. Every single one of us today in this stadium is lucky. We are each born with privileges and blessings that we might not even be aware of yet. And it's our responsibility to give back to the community as a community of changemakers.
Well, just like our 11-minute senior boards, our time is almost up. Not only for this speech, but for our high school careers as well.
So, besides thanking the board, or all of you, for your time and asking if you have any questions, we'd like to give one last shout out today to our parents.
亲爱的妈妈，爸爸, how do I even begin to describe everything that you are? You immigrated here to give us a better future. Your optimism, your work ethic, your relentless drive to pursue your dreams. These are the immigrant values we inherited from you. And everything we are today is because of what you have sacrificed for us.
The countless car rides, Saturday math lessons, and staying up past midnight to make sure we go to bed. You push us to be better learners and better teachers, driven explorers and driven leaders. CHS.
And of course, we'd like to fulfill some requests from our teachers.
Mrs. Dignan asked for a brilliant literary quote from Shakespeare, and Ms. Stevens begged me not to use a quote from transcendentalism poetry. So instead, we will use the all-too-familiar, cliché Gandhi quote, as seen every day in the North Commons.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
So as we look to the future, let's remember that we each individually have the power to create change. You don't need to save the planet or cure cancer, or be the next Mark Zuckerberg or Hillary Clinton, but you can do something. Be it voting in the next election, taking a risk in the classroom, or even just helping a friend.
You don't need to change the world to be a change maker. We are each capable and responsible for pursuing our passions in order to impact the people around us. In class of 2019, we have an entire lifetime ahead of us to do so.
So, before we each leave home to change our futures, we only have one last thing to do. Let's graduate!
Now, we would like to welcome Upkes, Julia Watson, Kane, and Sami Holmes to perform Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
would like to take a moment to honor the top 5 of our graduating class. This is a huge academic honor, and as over 100 of our classmates has a weighted GPA of 4.0 or above. You will find the list of the top 5% in the program. 2 were left off due to calculating error, and they are very deserving of this award. Quinn Barrett and Clayton Miles. Would our top 5% please stand up?
I'd like to take a moment to recognize our National Merit Scholars. 3 of our classmates received this prestigious award: Monica Chang, Maya Kawamura, and Angela Shu. Of the 1.5 million entrants, less than 1% of students received this award. Would the real National Merit Scholars please stand up?
Who has the worst parking? Camas High School or Clark College?
For those of you who haven't earned an AA, please stand up.
Today we'd like to take a moment to honor all the people who have served our country. If you have served or are currently serving in the military, please stand up. All who plan to enlist or have already enlisted, please stand up. I'd also like to thank all of those who have strove to protect our country, and we greatly appreciate all the sacrifices that have been made on our behalf.
Good evening. We are the Sydneys of ASB. I'm Sydney Jenkins, ASB Treasurer.
And I'm Sydney Fromnick, ASB President.
We would like to recognize 5 staff members who are going to retire after the school year. Shelley Floor, Lisa Myers, Paul Nicholson, Roland Minder, and Pat Spencer.
Shelley Floor has worked a total of 29 years for the district. She's going to spend her time riding horses and being with her family.
Lisa Myers has been working for the CSD for 22 years. She's leaving her CHS family to spend more time with her 8th grade children.
Paul Nicholson has worked at CHS for 8 years, and before he was a special agent for the federal government. And the rest is classified.
Roland Minder has served the district for 29 years. He's looking forward to skiing more.
Pat Spencer has worked for the district for 18 years. This is the best lunch crew she's ever worked with, but she is looking forward to sleeping in.
A lot of people will hold these positions in the future, but the experiences and memories they give students will be irreplaceable.
Thank you so much for all your hard work over the years. You will be missed.
Hi, I'm Josh McFun, ASB Secretary.
And I'm Kane here.
And we're here to announce this year's Teacher of the Year. We vote for Teacher of the Year as an entire class, and this year we have selected Mr. Matt Luke. Students selected him because he's a great teacher, friend, and patriot.
Please welcome your 2019 Teacher of the Year, Mr. Matt Luke.
It's about time this day got here, huh? For some, it's a bit late because you were ready to be done last year. What'd you say, Tatum, junioritis? You guys had it. Some have only recently become ready, and yet others are still a little unsure about what's next. No matter which category fits, by now you all realize how quickly your senior year goes by. But I have news for you. Life doesn't slow down. It only seems to speed up. For example, this year is special for me because 30 years ago, I received my Camas High School diploma. Back in 1989, Camas was a blue-collar mill town with just over 6,000 people and a high school graduating class of 150. Now, Camas has swelled to a population of over 24,000 with over 500 graduates in this class of 2019. The 1989 CHS yearbook motto was changing decades. We were proud to be the last class of the 80s. And from my perspective, the class of 2019 has a lot to be proud of and are a perfect end to the 20-teens. Well, I graduated 30 years ago, and my teaching career began 25 years ago. And the clues that I'm getting to be an old man are all around me. But nothing made it more clear than having Sejkora Barrett point out to me that I had her mother as a student in my first year of teaching. All teachers know that if you stick around long enough, that's bound to happen. But knowing it and going through it wasn't any easier. But tonight is about your journey this evening and beyond. Your paths to this moment in time have been very different. Some of you have been here since kindergarten, some of you joined us in middle school, some in high school, some from other states, and at least one from Canada. Hey, Sonny? Wait, Gavin, you did let him know graduation tonight, right? All right. Some of you took running start, some the AP route, some Cascadia. Some of you are the first in your family to graduate high school. Some of you believe D's get degrees. And the majority of you are somewhere in between. these very past graduation are what have made your papermaker class fun, interesting, and challenging. On this path, you've hopefully made friends, close friends, lifelong friends. I can tell you from experience, there's a bond, a trust, and an understanding between Camas graduates that lasts a lifetime. I know there are generations of papermakers in the stands today that can attest to that. When I was just beginning my career, a veteran teacher shared a philosophy with me. He told me that students would not always remember the specific lesson you taught them, but how well you treated them. I hope I treated you well during our time together, because you sure treated me to some memories I won't soon forget. Let me share a few. First off, I want you to know that I'm happy you all survived the sickness epidemic that plagued this year's senior class. At least that's what I think it was from the record number of excused absences due to illness and doctor appointments. Anyhow, my day will typically start before first period with the morning crew having deep discussions about life, or with Tanner Craig drawing pictures or making flowcharts to make sure Mary Tipton made it through the day. Then first period would start, for most. For others, Jake Logic, it was a little bit later. Hannah Upkes would be singing the praises of applesauce. Shane Jameson, Brian Worley, and Brogan Lane would try to muster up the energy for another day. Nico Swanson, Billy Schultz, plotting ways to ruin each other. Josh Farrington, sharing another of his amazing video creations. Emily and Marissa Landers, waiting patiently with the greatest smiles ever. Ibuki Murata, trying to figure out any game in which he might be able to defeat Katie Hancock. And Cameron Bessner leaving her world-famous Tora Ray Sheasley drawings on the board. Then we would transition to second period, where I could count on Wyatt Johnson to ask head-scratching questions and Cody Hutton to admonish him for him. Jake Taylor and Luke Brewer talking about, I better not. Tatum, Fogle, and Justine Pauly shaking their heads in resigned despair over the comments and conversations, and an old school, multi-generational Camas family kid in Connor McGuffin holding down the fort in the back row, or in his case, buying parts for his tractor. Luckily, I had a long break until my final group of seniors arrived. By sixth period, we were all tired from the rigorous maker time, but there was a little magic to this class. How Mark Castro Mendoza's hair tie floated from the ceiling all year, we'll never know. Joe Delgado producing an endless supply of amazing pottery masterpieces. There were the non-stop debates between Josh McFun, Caden Wengler, Fox Bessinger, and Grant Heiser over Game of Thrones or Avengers Endgame or anything to do with sports. Gigi Carr relating everything back to food, especially chicken nuggets. And Amy Bell talking about DECA or California. Caleb Mayotte loudly expressing frustration with Eric Wu. And of course, Kennedy Cuff, Tessa Bass, and Ben Peterson's specially set up snack desk. And let's not forget one of the most special relationships. You could not have attended CHS and not seen Caden Pierce and Alan Jones together somewhere on campus. Now, I got them after a full day together, so I would get to experience things like, I'm sick of it, Alan, I'm sick of it all. And, oh man, Freaky C's in a mood today. But in reality, you guys were awesome together. And finally, my day would end with Lizette Renner and McKenna Dunn, two of the nicest, sweetest young ladies, helping me put chairs up and waiting for the traffic to clear. All in all, not a bad way to spend a day or a year. Now, I guess I should leave you with a few thoughts to ponder. So, there's an old saying that goes, "Jack of all trades, master of none, though oftentimes better than a master of one." While it's nice to be great at something, I also hope you remember that life has a lot to offer. Explore as much as you can and enjoy it all. Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." For sure, none of you are stupid, and some of you are still finding your genius. I truly believe that you all have what it takes to be great, and I know you will succeed, because just look, all the love and support. In closing, just remember that when you see me years down the road, and you've grown 6 inches, gained weight, lost hair, and have 3 kids in tow, remind me who you are, because even though I may not initially recognize you, I'll probably remember that you were the kid in 2nd period that talked nonstop to Blake Derringer and Andrew Boyle, right, Jesse Sullivan? Well, as a good friend of mine says, nature has a way of letting you know when it's time to go. And it's been clear for some weeks that it's time for you all to go. Graduation is a chance for you to continue down your path of success, or a chance to reinvent yourself into something better. Whatever you may do, I wish you the best. And with that, it's also time for me to go. I love you guys. Congratulations, class of 2019. It's been a pleasure.
This is our class farewell. You know you're from the class of 2019 when the schedule changes every week.
You know you're the class of 2019 when you just want to know where Devonk is.
You know you're the class of 2019 when you remember all 2 assemblies like they were yesterday.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you get dress coded every week.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you're the only one actually using the bathroom.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when your class motto is "No more maker time."
You know you're from the class of 2019 when all your friends are sick during the same class.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when drinking water only counts if you have hydro covered in stickers.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when every ASB event gets rescheduled at least 20 times.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you can't go down the hall without hearing Party Shark's sweet jams.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when your district didn't strike, but everyone still manages to graduate before you. You know you're from the class of 2019 when you spent maker time trying to leave early but not get caught by Sean.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when every EP test you take is a rewrite.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you want to impeach Sidney Furmanek so Jimmy can be president.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you want to be president.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you run over Josh in the hallway.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when Kane runs you over in the hallway 3 times, but you still love him anyway.
2019 when you still can't find a bunk.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when people think you can't see their AirPods.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you can't find a Chromebook charger.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when the only reason you go to ABIGAL is to see Cooper.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you have a running start friend that texts you every single day for updates.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you think about stealing the golf cart for a joyride.
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you'll see everyone next to you at boys' team. Go Broncos!
You know you're from the class of 2019 when Game of Thrones ended and it was disappointing. But the Jonas Brothers got back together.
Everyone, please, it's not a joke. Has anyone seen Devon?
You know you're from the class of 2019 when you're all in this together.
And School Board President, Mr. Doug Quinn.
Hello, paper makers. I want you to know how proud our school district is of every one of you. Each of you has a unique story of making it to this day. All of your stories include meeting the graduation requirements of Camas High School and the state of Washington, and much, much, much more. They are stories of persistence, stories of compassion and care. They are stories of seeing the world with optimism and hope. They are stories of great joy and challenging pain. Your stories inspire us and give us great hope for our future. We want you to continue to be learned and continue to be curious about what can be instead of what cannot. Thank you for sharing these first few chapters of your story with us. Our best to you as you write the rest of your story. On behalf of the Camas School District, the Camas High School staff, and our wonderful community, it is my privilege to present the class of 2019.
And students, it's an honor on behalf of the Camas School Board to accept this class of 2019 as having fulfilled all requirements necessary for a diploma from Camas High School. Congratulations, graduates.
Well, parents, it's a minute we've all been waiting for. We've been waiting to hear the names of our students as they walk across the stage. As a friendly reminder, please hold applause until all graduates have crossed the stage this evening. We are running a very efficient graduation this evening, and if you cheer too long or loud, one family may miss out from hearing their student's name. We thank you now. Row one, please stand. We would like to introduce Miss Christy Stevens and Mr. Cameron Long, who will do the diploma presentation.
Wood. Benjamin Michael Mason Shavy. Dominic James Davison. Brady Burnham Moore. Gamaliel Nesta. Lynn Randall Gonzalez. Catherine Race Garcia. Ella Opal Almond. Adrian Eric Burris. Morgan Simone Masudi. Caitlin Naomi Sandu, Wyatt Hodgson, Laura Shay Johnson, Victoria Catherine Clapshaw, Kennedy Ann Cuff, Tessa Brianne Bass, Haley Michael Peterson, Laura Elise Teens, Hannah Marie Kaloran Upkes, Sydney Paige Firmanek, Minan Donica Gu, Brenna Camille Dewey, Emily Claire Toby, Monica Yang Chang, Abigail Yonshan Jang, Laura Rose Langdale, Julia Paulette Watson, Audrey Minerva Hinchliff, Sydney J. Jenkins, Jessica Haley Bretz, Mark Anthony Castro Mendoza, Matthew James Williams, Nicholas Flynn Kluka, Anna Beth Cronister, James Patrick Peebles, Henry Patrick White, Caleb Frazier Sonnenberg, Joshua Tyler Barrington, Steve Parker Collins, Fox Glenn Bessinger, Mason Alexander Triplett, Tatum Joy Fogle, Josh David McFun, Caden James Pierce,
Nicole T. Newen, Athena Tsai, Jessica Audrey West, Hannah Lee Riley, Andrea Lee Valeshevsky, Karsten Blake Corden, Michael Nicholas Flynn, Paula Elaine Yeager, Sarah Marina Pacheco, Marin Hope Rochelle, Melanie Nicole Coates, Madison Lynn Murray, Emma Renee Montany, Mackenzie Lynn Gill, Sydney Kaylin Davis, Kaylee Christine Eckert, Amy Jean Bell, Emma Noelle Evelina Gilchrist, Claire Dorianne Jones, Jolie Beth Burks, Sierra Marie Scordino, Ethan Riley Hansen, Miles Dean Cottrell, Jason Dylan Kovalenko, Micah Bradley Harimoto, Benjamin Eugene Peterson, Tiani Tienu True, Hannah Marie Peterson, Rachel May Blair, Sheng Sheng Yang, Reagan Lauren Cook, Malia Lauren Fisher, Megan Ray Smith, Katarina Keck, Moira Espinoza Cheney, Aiden J. Rackham, Sydney Monique Reed, Tayaba Baruch Nashab, Honorit Kaur, Haliana Kulanan Naipo. Skylar Shamini Becerra. Amanda Lauren Litt. Joseph Freeman.
Trinity Michaela Condi. Cameron Larry Cunningham. Michaela Ann Potrax. Austin Lee Platt. Justin Nathan Mendoza. Daniel Christian Nathan. Tristan Lee Cobb. Caleb Elliott Maya. Jackson Crittenden Clark. Jackson Daniel Line. Grant William Olson. Jacob Sherwood Amundsen. Cole Christopher Childers. Harrison Daniel Cole. Elena Lee Demerit. Callie Elizabeth Browski. Jake Charles Rumble. Tara Kathleen Larson. Samantha Sydney Warren. Lindsay Esther Moon. Juliana M. Viken. Catherine Jane Busick. Ashlyn Faye Campbell. Sydney Danielle Yoshikawa. Ashley Rose Gerst. Jocelyn Paige McFarland. Nina U. Robinson. Luke William Lambert. Ryan James Swafford. Jacob Aaron Gannon. Jacob Andrew Carter. Quinn Austin Walker. Danilo Kamenko. William Schultz. Joey Allen Kredowajeski. Alyssa Ann Ingenbrom. Lily Catherine Lee Gibson. Erin Elizabeth Valentine O'Day. Emma Jordan Hahn. Brooklyn Leah Howard. Brennan Mitchell Martin. Valentina Allison Majid. Camille Celeste Burgess. Madeline Ann Carroll. Vanessa Jules Toimer. Megan Joy Shellman.
McKenna Renee Holmquist. Ashley Nicole Clark. Rennie L. Kai. Kathy Tanya Zagaria. Marilyn Greta Gable. Cameron Mackenzie Bosch. Ellery Diana Cook. Ashlyn Nicole Hunsicker. Alicia Noel DeVera. Brian Hannon. Blake John Derringer. Natsana Robertson. Sierra Rose Goodwin. Roxana Giselle Rockford. JC Marie Coe. Haley Brianne Hansen. Julian L. Rodriguez. Ayu Zhang. Yusin Lai. Samantha Jo Vogt. Christian Leroy Buckholz. Colton Michael Jackson. Zachary Stephen Hunter. Jake Robert Atkinson. Austin Ninaru Fogle. Keelan Patrick McHugh. Raul Ram. Trent Michael Highland. Andrew Dale Bargendale. Andrew Show Weekly. Paige Claire Russell. Braden Graham Taylor. Grace Alonzo. Sarah Ann Kirschenbaum. Maylee Murray. Adeline Joanne Marsh. Mackenzie Marie Smith. Avery Elise Fairbrother. Grace Lauren Weiser. Jacob Edward Berger. Nolan Arthur Friend. Caleb James Henderson Murphy. Ryder Devin Parks. K. M. Bro. Sophia Bell Murphy. Jared P. Torno.
Joseph Angelo Seawright. Rainey Robles. Matthew David Miles. Dylan Patrick Miles. Olivia Dawn Isabella Ann Ramirez. Kylie Ann Lowen. Madison Somerville Martin. Amy Rowan Sobey. Michelle Christine Berter. Harmeet Carr. Hannah Rose Booth. Katie Anna Hancock. Dustin Jackson Hubbard. Noah Martin George. Jackson Charles Lufkin. Matthew John Cannon. Jalen Nathaniel Spooky. Dalton Hayes Derrick. Bruce Clayton Miles. Matthew Kajin Chow. Danny Marie Cable. Hadley Elaine Overcash. Chris Johnson. McKenna Hualavena Anderson. Abigail Christine Miller. Siren Shazam Shola. Donna Yongchan Yalno. Zaina Shakib Usmani. Aram Shahab Ferdow. Alan Wyatt Sampson. Connor Ram Lolo. Spencer Warren Neeser. Nico B. Swanson. Carter Joseph Erickson. Carson Douglas Speed. Ibuki Nagura Murata. Hayden Connor Lute. Tybalt Angle Thornberry. Nolan Brent Oishi. Niels Kula Raider. Cole Robert Genty. Luke Frederick Brewer. Jake Clayton Taylor. Jake William Blodgett. Joshua Ari Elan Nierenberg. Janessa Marie Terry.
Oliver Anthony Solano. Tiobe Lucas Funk, Ian McKenzie, Joshua Andre Lixikov, Hunter Graham Drake, Aiden Michael Bailey, Cooper Gray Curtis, Yvonne Nicholas Franco, Nicholas Alexander Wallowitz, Jordan Joseph Westby, Kelowna Fior Richards DeVeek, Brinna Kaylin Hansen, Peyton Dolly Hubbard, Maya Marie Simonson, Cameron Elizabeth Bralier, Anthony Mark Chilton, Declan Ramses McGee, Natalie Grace Fitzgerald, Olivia Simone Riggins, Parker James Shaw, Emma Elizabeth Cox, Gavin Ryan, Victor Linwanich, Michaela Evelyn Forrester, Carly Brianne Brunson, Sean Michael Riley Cogan, Michael James Klein, Carter Ryan Chesler, Isaiah Quincy Jackson, Adam Jeffrey Paul Anderson, Blake Allen Wegener, Hayden Curtis Paza, Forrest Ryan Power, Mary Catherine Brawl, Isaac Howe Duncan, Matthew Eric Hansen, Tanner Patrick Craig, Ryan Jeffrey Ball, Allison Ryan Strickland, Emily Marie Reisenauer, Garrett Lee Skorick, Yesen Eva Carrillo, Autumn Jewel Swan, Sophia Grace Greenwood, Torrin Ray Shesley, Olivia Nicole Molano,
Janessa Tate Wilson, Sydney Marie Bruce Oliver, Rumsey Joe, Chloe Alice Montana, Kylie Louise Young, Mackenzie Kathleen Moore Gambrel, Philip Ryan Stewart, Dylan Scott Ryan, Mackenzie Rose Baker, Jacob Angelo Zinda, Jacob Matthews Durfeld, Zach Daniel Messia, Anthony Sung-il Choi, Zakira Timothea Barrett, Mary Kate Pipkin, Emery Cosette Miller, Zachary Isidore Schaefer,
Groff. Emily Nan Shepard. Jeanette Anenko. Van Twee Lee. Maya Sylvia Lipsky. Maya Spring Kawamura. Caitlin Marie Beal. Quinn Michael Barrett. Huang Min Ho. Quinn Ru Sophie Tsai. Yeso Yoon. Yoonsa Song. Shiyu Zhang. Angela Chu. Ashley Tang. Jason Liu. Christopher Tyann Shaw. Jennifer Nelson. Jonathan Arnau Bautista. Meredith A. Conley. Benjamin Clay Wyckoff. Samuel Quinn Wyckoff. Megan Marlis Toller. Luke Davidson. Zach Chilian. Carson Alexander Bonine. Caden Matthew Wengler. Isaiah Jamar Sampson. Shane Kent Jameson. Andrew William Boyle. Ethan Richard Wabber. Caleb Judd Ring. Jesse Gregory Sullivan. Ryan Charles Worley. Rylan James Marshall. Zach Allen Terry. Joseph Roger Shepard Delgado. Cade Gregory Williams. Carson Douglas Williams. Devon Shekara. Shivam Shakur. Cameron Leigh Fesner. Trent Michael Danielson. Riley Jean Kengelberg. Gabriella Yonella Stoica. Merritt Grace Bergrave Rosie.
Josh Alexander Beasley. Madeline Elizabeth Helper. Dominique Moravitz. Juliana Regina Arrigo. Mary Rose Petrino. Emily Rose Rementeria. Kaya Liana Morgan. Annie Christine Danielson. Derek John Lawson. Leo Francis Cousineau. Judah McKinley Corbin. Anthony David Latanzi. Carter Aaron Lakeson. Jack Douglas Latmer. Rogan Philip Lane. Joseph Olaf Schnell. Luke Henry Sturvell. Camden Jackson Moore. Grant Lawrence Kaiser. Shane Connor McGuffin. Carter Joseph Manley. Dawson Steve Ingram. Ashley Taylor Sims. Katrina Paige Schwarback. Harrigan Ray Foster. Ava Brooklyn Croft. Madeline Christine Hampton. Isabel Claire Wright. Mark Sovea. Brevin Mel Herron. Paige Marie Whiteman. Aaron Ashley Smith. Stephanie Elizabeth Moore. Lizette Francine Brennan. McKenna Riley Dunn. Jasmine Moore Midland. Tanner James O'Brien. Mona Uemura. Katie Marie Cooper. Alyssa Michelle Heilbrunn. Zachary Thomas Gregson. Jacob David Truck.
Catherine Elaine Reimer. Kathleen Jane Lyons. Megan Kathleen Kane. Julia Lorianne Pulawashevsky. Jordan Dean Smith. Andre Zane Boise. Elliot Clark Dawson. Shelby Ann Roberts. Taylor Vaughn Lester. Dylan James Personette. Evan Lorena Brizuela. Tiffany On. Jay Tianwei Shi. Katie Nguyen Hyoman. Taylor Sithamuravan. Ellen Yahweh Ewan. Savannah Claire Virtue. Taylor Carol Wheeler. Haley Ann Dale. Alyssa Faye Evans. Alexis Isabel Brown. Emma Nicole Bliss. Kelsey Elizabeth Huff. Samantha Christine Walters. Hunter Garrison Barnes. Yago Martin Claraman. Maria Del Carmo Bernay Batalha. Celine Scorbit. Meryl Kenmirko. Ellen Marie Taft Benson. Burha Taylor Burha. Erica Elise Serrano. Austin Kenneth J. Haas. Violet Nicole Cooper. Reagan Victoria Hedinger. Marissa Louise Landers. Emily Loretta Landers. Lydia Mary Edmonds. Liam Elijah Edmonds. Derek John Gross. Preston Anthony Doan. Darius Emmanuel Spiridon. Genesis Martinez. Robert James Panetto. Mason Andrew Richardson.
Skylar Berlin. Jefferson T. Jackson. Leah Marie Forster. Abisha Mashusha Kavada. Cedar Blue. Tyson Thorlewis Anderson. Reese Cameron Marcial. Scott Alexander Thomas. Tara Lynn Griffiths. Joshua Aid Martinez. Wyatt Mitchell Johnson. Joshua Xingyuan Juris. Forrest Parker Shadell. Luke Colburn. Avery Michelle Bradshaw. Jacqueline Alice Fury. Maisie Jane Daisy. Scott Corbett Thorkelson. Dalton Alexander Lucas. Cody Lester Hutton. Benjamin Harvey Hutton. Derek Dale Fox. Riley Patrick Bueller. Nick Mitchell Gafford. Yusuf Ghazali. Carson Farah. Christian Geigenmiller. Gavin Andrew Holly. Tyler Scott Lagan. Spencer Daniel Kane. Gavin Daniel Gregory. Michael J. Vigil. Christian Lauren Canoe. Sunny James Cornea Weebawa. Nate Jean Bell. Trey Charles Metzger. Timothy Timchenko.
Nora Elizabeth Kelly. Tanner James Schmoltz. Ian Matthew Sejkora. Elvis Sanchez. Richard Baldwin. Sophia D. Burnett. Dallin Kit Parker. Isabella Little.
Just remember this. Once a paper maker, always a paper maker. Now will you please move your tassel from right to left, symbolizing the transition from one chapter to the next. Congratulations, you're all Camas graduates.